I just finished a brand new hatchling rack. I got hatchlings on the way. But first, I want to tell you why PVC is the only way to go for DIY ball python racks. What's going on, everybody? It's your good buddy Adam here at Proper Royals. If we haven't met before, this channel is all about my family's journey from ball python hobbyist to a ball python business. Check out links to all of the socials down below, as well as our Morph Market store and our collection of Proper Royals NFTs if crypto is your thing. So it's an expensive hobby that we're in, and you want to do things the right way and you want to have the right equipment. On the other hand, it's challenging to know which ones to go for. Racks are almost imperative once you get to a breeding size operation. It'd be impossible for me to have 20 tanks in this room, and then I've got some 30 babies on the way as well. That would be just a nightmare to try and care for if I didn't have racks. I use PVC exclusively for my racks, and I want to tell you the 5 reasons why I do so and why I highly recommend PVC for your ball python snake racks. The very first reason is that you can get a high quality rack system with PVC and a little DIY elbow grease for well under half the price of what you would pay from a really great rack company like ARS. I love their racks. I cannot wait for the day that I will justify getting one. But this PVC rack right here, I made this to hold 30 hatchlings. It's 10 levels high, and it holds 3 of the 6-quart Sterilite shoe boxes per level for the hatchlings. You can see that you can make these very versatile, very useful. And I can tell you that this rack right here, what it doesn't have yet is the heat strips. They're actually on the way, and I ordered those from Reptile Basics. I'm not affiliated with them, but let me tell you, customer service and hospitality, Reptile Basics get it, and they get my business every time. So heat strips are on the way. Those will go in. But heat strips, shipping, and the equipment to build this, or the materials to build this, I'm in this rack for under $400 for this hatchling rack. Now $400 is a whole lot of money, but if you're gonna breed, you gotta have place for your hatchlings. And in my regular rack setup, where I would have held them in the future is full of my breeding stock. So that's a nice problem to have, right? My number one reason of why to use PVC is that it's a great price conscious alternative. It's still not cheap, but again, a 30 animal rack, hatchling rack from ARS will run you $12.50 before shipping, and I didn't even take into account the upgrades and that kind of thing on it. It's very expensive. Again, I think very highly of ARS racks. I live for the day this whole room is covered in them. But aside from that ability, I highly recommend PVC. Reason number 2 is the durability. I love this PVC. It's like a PVC pipe, except it's a board that you can use like wood. Now, my biggest complaint that I hear about PVC racks is that sometimes that the racks can bend and dip. Not if you use 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch PVC is the answer. It's a little more expensive, but it's not the price of like an ARS rack. Like I say, for this whole hatchling rack, I'm at about $400 on this, and this is the summer of 2021. Yeah, I really love the durability of these racks. They are solid. I see so many racks out there made of like particle board or even just plywood, and we're gonna get into other reasons why I don't like those. They are serviceable, but I'll tell you why I don't like them. Stick with me. But I also hear people use this stuff that they refer to as melamine. And melamine is a plastic, and it's a durable plastic. We actually use it a lot in restaurant equipment at work. However, what people are building racks out of is not solid melamine. It is melamine over the top of particle board. So by the time you put a screw in there, it's just digging into glued together sawdust. That stuff is junk. It's not durable. Those racks are wobbly from the start. This thing is solid as can be right here. I'm ready to go on that. I have no problem with that rack. So durability is my number 2 reason. My number 3 reason, this does not apply to the high caliber ARS sort of quality racks, But other DIY materials, notably wood, particle board, melamine, plywood, is that PVC will not catch fire. God forbid you have your heat panels, your electrical systems, something fail, and God forbid that a fire breaks out or you have a short or an electrical spark, this stuff will not catch fire. It will melt, but it will not catch fire. It will not add to a fire. It will not increase the likelihood of total destruction for either your collection and your own personal health. That safety is incredibly valuable, okay? So think that through. It is much more is very worthwhile spending a little bit more and knowing you can sleep well at night because you went ahead and spent just a little bit more on the proper rack, okay? And that does go true with the ARS racks as well. Those will not catch fire. My number 4 reason why I like PVC over any of the other DIY materials is the cleanliness of it. I mentioned before, I come from a long career in running restaurants, and I always made sure that I absolutely was as safe as possible. Cleanliness is mandatory in a restaurant. You're talking about things that people are going to put in their bodies. And a lot of those things that I learned in running the restaurants, I apply to the ball python hobby, and cleanliness is one of those things. What I like about the PVC rack is that this material does not hold or harbor any water. You've got to have moisture and oxygen for bacteria to be able to be harbored. This will not hold, soak, absorb any water. All wood will absorb water. All that particle board is like a sponge. Any 2x4s you could use will absorb water. I don't care how pressure treated it is, it will absorb water and moisture and harbor bacteria that could potentially become harmful for your animals. Now, we're never perfect when it comes to bacteria. I just touched this. We have natural bacteria on us. However, what you want to do is mitigate the threat of those sorts of things. And one of the best ways to mitigate the threat is to have a fully cleanable surface. That's why you see stainless steel in kitchens. It will not hold any water. You can clean it incredibly well. PVC gets very clean, very similar to those stainless steel tables, and I use chlorhexidine religiously. You can get that at Tractor Supply. This whole gallon, I think, was like 14 bucks, and you use 1 ounce to 16 ounces of water is the mix on it. So this will last for a long, long time. I am not bashful with this stuff. I spray everything down with it. So the cleanliness factor versus what other DIY materials might be is another reason why I love PVC. My number 5 reason why I recommend PVC over any other DIY material, and for that matter, right now I recommend it over any other racks that you can buy. In this summer right now of supply chain difficulties and production issues and shipping delays and everything else that we're going through economically and logistically right now in our lives, you can get PVC. I don't know why it's more readily available, but you can get this. An ARS rack right now is 9 to 12 weeks out. You got to order at the end of summer to hope to have it by Christmas. I got hatchlings on the way. I can't mess around waiting for that, right? You could go down to Home Depot right now or Lowe's, which I actually personally prefer from their customer satisfaction standpoint. But Lowe's and Home Depot have lots of this in stock. I've checked at various random stores around in various regions as well in preparation for the video. The 3/4 inch boards. This rack is made of 5.5 inch planks, and it's 2 of those planks deep. My adult racks that are in front of me that are off camera right now, those are using the 9-inch wide planks, and Home Depot and Lowe's has those in stock. They will also, if you ask nice, I think they're not supposed to because they're PVC, but they will cut them in the store for you. So you don't even have to come home. I use my circular saw on these, but you can have all your measurements taken and have Home Depot cut them for you. Lowe's will cut them for you as well. And then all you got to do is come home. I use 2-inch sheetrock screws. So you got 3/4 of an inch that it has to go through here, and then you're 1.25 inches deep here. Then I use an overlapping piece to connect the two. Basically, I make two bookshelves and smack them together like a sandwich. And one little pro tip, if you do go down this road, is to offset your back level. Just using a little deck of business cards or a deck of cards, offset the back one, and then you don't need to route out for your heat strips. They go right in and they're sunken, and you don't have to worry about banging up your heat strips every time you pull in and out a tub. Aha! So those are my 5 reasons I really love PVC racks. Keep it right here to learn anything else that I have to share and to see what we fill this hatchling rack with. Give me 2 weeks, I'll have baby snakes for you. Until next time, see ya!